Hi guys, today I'm going to be making something extra special. It's something that I like to make during holidays or when a really special treat is in order. It's a low carb, keto, coconut cream pie, and it's so worth making. Now, it is a little bit more extra work than some of my other dessert recipes. There is a lot of steps, so just want to forewarn you about that. But they are very easy and it will come together, and you do need to give yourself some time because the pudding filling will need to chill for at least 4 hours before you put it into the crust. So if you guys are ready, I'm ready too, and I'm going to show you how to make this delicious keto coconut cream pie. So the first thing you want to do is get a 1/4 cup of butter and melt it in a large bowl. And then you're going to add a 1/2 cup almond flour, 2 eggs, a 1/4 cup of low carb granular sweetener. I like to use the monk fruit and erythritol blend, but you can use any 1-for-1 sugar sweetener that you like. And then add a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And then you're going to mix that well. And then you're going to stir in 1/2 cup coconut flour and 1/3 cup shredded unsweetened coconut. You're going to stir that together until a dough forms. Then you're going to roll the dough out between parchment paper or wax paper. Then take the top sheet of paper off the dough and invert it into a pie pan. I usually have a little bit of cracking that happens, so what I do is I just press the cracks together with my fingers until everything is smooth, and then I go ahead and flute the edges. And then to help keep the crust from bubbling up in the middle, I like to take the tines of a fork and just press them over the crust so that you have some air holes. And then the crust is baked at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for about 10 minutes, and then you want to allow the crust to cool before you add the filling. But that's okay because it is going to take a while, like I said, to make that filling. So I actually recommend making your filling before the day before so that the filling can chill completely before you add it into the crust. So to make the filling, you're going to take a regular 13-ounce can of coconut milk and heat it on the stovetop until hot but not bubbling. While the coconut milk is heating, you'll want to beat 3 large egg yolks in a small bowl with a fork until well blended. So when the coconut milk is hot, you'll slowly add about 4 tablespoons of the hot coconut milk to the egg yolks, stirring quickly with the fork after each one of the additions. Then pour the yolk milk that's been slightly heated with the hot coconut milk into the rest of the coconut milk. Then what you're going to want to do is reduce the heat to low and then gently sprinkle and whisk in 1/2 cup of low carb granular sweetener along with 1 teaspoon of xanthan gum. Now if you don't like xanthan gum, you can certainly use another gum like glucomannan or guar gum. I just use xanthan gum because it's easy to find. You'll find it in the grocery stores, in the gluten-free section of the baking aisle. So after you've added the sweetener and the xanthan gum, you're going to want to cook the mixture for another 3 or 4 minutes until it's thickened. And then you can go ahead and remove it from the heat. And once it's removed from the heat, you're going to stir in 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Then once everything is mixed together with the extract, you're going to go ahead and spoon the mixture into a medium bowl, smooth the top, and then cover it with a sheet of plastic wrap. Now I use the plastic wrap so that the skin, it's really like a cooked pudding. You know how you get that little skin layer on the top? Well, if you're going to be putting the filling mixture in a crust, in a pie crust for a cream pie, you definitely don't want that skin, otherwise you're going to have to peel it off. So adding the sheet of plastic wrap will prevent a skin from forming while it's cooling and setting in the refrigerator. Now you're going to want to keep that in the refrigerator for at least 4 hours. That's why I recommend doing it the day before and just keeping it in the refrigerator before you're ready to make the pie. Okay, so after I've made my crust and my filling is all chilled and set and ready to go, and now I'm going to be assembling the coconut cream pie. So what I do is I make some toasted coconut, and that's just to be a garnish that's sprinkled on top of the stabilized whipped cream. So I take a half a cup of shredded unsweetened coconut and I spread it out onto a baking sheet, and I toast it in the oven at 375 degrees Fahrenheit just until golden. Now you have to keep an eye on it because once the coconut starts browning, it can burn really quickly. It typically takes 3 to 5 minutes for it to get a nice golden brown. So definitely keep an eye on it. And then once it's golden to how you like it, you're going to want to remove the pan and then let it sit on a cooling rack to cool. Meanwhile, I get ready to make my whipped cream. Now you don't have to add gelatin to your whipped cream. I do add the gelatin just because it keeps it from going flat after it's been sitting. So the last thing you want to do is make a beautiful coconut cream pie, and then when you take it to the occasion, it flattens out and the whipped cream on top is flat. So if you add a little bit of gelatin, which you're going to dissolve in water, it'll prevent that from happening. To make the stabilized whipped cream topping, I'll first start with softening some gelatin in cool water. So I take 1 tablespoon of water and I put it in a small dish, and then I sprinkle 1 teaspoon of gelatin on the top just to let it soften. And then I take a tablespoon of boiling water and put it on top after the gelatin is softened a little bit, and then I stir it to make sure the gelatin powder is completely dissolved. And then with an electric mixer, and it does help to have a pre-chilled bowl when you're making your whipped cream. So I'll whip 2 cups of heavy whipping cream with an electric mixer with 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract and 3 tablespoons of regular granular low carb sweetener. I mix it and beat it until soft peaks form. And then while the electric mixer is still running, I'll slowly add in a slow stream that dissolved gelatin and water mixture. And I beat that until the cream is nice and stiff. Next, I'm going to prepare the cream cheese. So I take 12 ounces of softened cream cheese and I put it in a large bowl and I beat it until light and fluffy. And then I slowly beat in the chilled coconut pudding, just adding a small bit at a time so that the pudding is well incorporated into the cream cheese mixture. Then I fold about half the whipped cream into the cream cheese pudding until the mixture is smooth. Then once the cream cheese and the pudding and the whipped cream are all mixed together, and you only want to use half of the prepared whipped cream, I spread that into the prepared baked crust and smooth it off. Then I top that layer with the stabilized whipped cream, the remaining half of the stabilized whipped cream. And then to finish it off, I take the toasted coconut and I sprinkle it on top. And I have to tell you, even those people who aren't on keto low carb absolutely love this pie. It doesn't taste low carb, it doesn't taste keto, it doesn't taste like it's sugar free. It's definitely going to be the hit at your next holiday gathering or any kind of special get together, or just for a special treat for yourself. I really hope you enjoy this recipe, and if you want to see more recipes from Low Carb Yum, make sure you subscribe to the Low Carb Yum channel.